Well, I just spoke about seventh house being a Maraka house and Saturn in a Maraka sthana. One need not get scared. Not all Mithuna Rashis will get hospitalized or will go through a health crisis, which is where the lordship of Saturn matters. Who's the 22nd Rakana Lord, who's the 64th Navamsha Lord. There's a lot of combinations, which is the reason you need to look at your specific chart. What is the lordship of Saturn and Jupiter, what is the Bhavbala scores, what is the Shakbala scores, and overall, what is the Sarvashtakavarka score, and specifically for Saturn, how much Bindus has Saturn contributed in Dhanush. That matters a lot. So, after all these calculations, then if everything is not working out, then you need to be watchful, which is the reason that all Mithuna Rashi folks will not go through a health crisis, right? So with that, we'll move on to Karkataka Rashi. Okay, this is the sample chart for Karkataka Rashi. How do you know whether your Rashi is Karkataka? In your birth chart, Rashi chart, if your moon is posited out here, then your Rashi is Karkataka. Typically, you will either be Punarvasu 4th Pada or Pushya Nakshatra or Aslesha Nakshatra, right? So, where is Saturn? Saturn is in the 6th house from your moon sign. And, Saturn has moved from the 5th house to the 6th house. 6th house is supposed to be a Dosthana. Saturn is a functional malefic. So, two negatives make a positive. So, the position of Saturn in the 6th house is supposed to be auspicious. So, this is a time for all-round gains and happiness. If you look at it, your moon, your Rashi itself is a watery Rashi, and your Rashi is 4th from the Kalapurusha, which is Sukhasthana. And moon is also a watery planet, right? So people, who are belonging to a Karkataka Rashi are typically motherly in nature, very calm and composed, right? And a little bit of, the Saturn in the 6th house will give them good strength to fight against their enemies or diseases. 6th house represents Ripu, Runa and Roga. Basically diseases, deaths and enemies, right? 6th house also represents maternal uncle, right? So if you look at Dhanush, it's bow and arrow, right? And typically this is used to fight against enemies and achieve your objectives, right? Targeting your objectives. So extremely good time to become much more braver. The next 2.5 years is going to be excellent. Saturn is going to be, towards your side to achieve your objectives. Good luck. Well, that was for Karkataka Rashi. I think you've given a detailed explanation. Now let's move on to Simha Rashi. So here's the chart for Simha Rashi. If in your birth chart, if the position of moon is in this particular box, then your Rashi is Simha. Alternatively, if your nakshatra is Maga, Pabba or Uttara first Pada, then your Rashi is Simha Rashi. Simha is the 5th house from the natural Kalapurusha chart. Your natural Kalapurusha starts from here, Mesha. So if you count from Mesha, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is the 5th house, right? And Saturn is 5th from Simha, the transit Saturn. Saturn moved from the 4th position to the 5th position on 26 Jan 2017 from Vrishchika to Dhanush, right? 5th house is a house of creativity. 5th house represents children. 5th house represents higher learning. 5th house is also for speculation. 5th house is a Purva Punya Sthana. 5th house is the second from the 4th house, which is the Sukhasthana, right? All these are getting impacted in a negative way. There could be bottlenecks in all these areas which are highlighted, right? For example, 5th house is actually for higher learning, and 5th house also represents due to education related reasons, children can actually travel away from home. right? And as you know, if you look at the position of Jupiter is in the second from your moon sign, which is Kutumbasthana, which is largely okay as of now because this is an auspicious position for Jupiter. So till September, Jupiter is going to remain here, and post September, Jupiter is going to move from the second position to the third position, Tula. So Jupiter becomes a blocking planet. Basically, from Saturn, Jupiter is in the 11th house. So any transiting planet, Saturn transits Saturn, right? From the transit Saturn's position, the planet in the 11th will actually be a blocking planet. So Jupiter becomes a Veda. Veda means an energy that blocks. Veda means it blocks, right? And hence some of the the negative effects or the malefic effects of this position of Saturn gets blocked for a period of about 1 year, which is from September 2017 to September 2018, right? So there's good amount of protection for that 1 year period. But then this position of Saturn is going to remain here for about 2.5 years. So there is a 1 year of protection period in between. So be prepared for some of these challenges, right? And good luck. Okay, Simha folks, I see a 5 and a 5 combination because Simha Rashi as such is the 5th house in the Kalapurusha chart and Saturn the 5th house. So there's a 5-5 combination. Be a bit watchful in new initiatives that you undertake, right? Over to Kanya. Here's the chart for Kanya Rashi. If your moon is placed out in this particular box in your natal chart, then your Rashi is Kanya. Another way of finding out is if your nakshatra is Uttara, the last 3 padas, or Hasta nakshatra or Chitta nakshatra, the first 2 padas, then your Rashi is Kanya Rashi. Kanya basically is the 6th house from the Kala Purusha. This is the first house of Kala Purusha, and if you start counting from the first house of Kala Purusha, this is the 6th place, right? And where is Saturn? Saturn has moved from your Parakramasthana, the 3rd house, to the Kutumbasthana, the 4th house, Kutumbasthana or the Sukhasthana. Saturn in the 4th house, malefic in a Kendrasthana. Kendra from moon is not a good combination, and this can impact, there could be impact on the 4th house significations, which is primarily happiness, vehicle, home, and also sleep is seen in the 4th house. And this position of Saturn is basically the Ardha Ashtama Shani period. Half of Ashtama Shani is 4. So hence it's called as Ardha Ashtama Shani. And also you're in your Janma Guru. Guru is placed on your moon sign till the month of September, and post September Guru moves to your 2nd house. There could be some relief during that period. Go with the tide, and do not go against the tide, because that will give, by resisting the tide, you may only face a lot of issues. There could be some negative impact in the 4th house signification. So Kanya Rashi folks, be prepared to face the challenge.